So our mission this year for Gardeners World Live is to try and raise awareness about field barns in Derbyshire. One of the problems, as you can see, is that they go into decline and then they fall down, and then people take the stone and then they no longer are part of the lovely landscape. But working with Derbyshire Historic Building Trust, we're going to make a garden which hopefully will reflect these barns and help people to understand the plight, the lovely field barns in Derbyshire, and how we can preserve them. So here we are in Bonsall, and this is the start of our journey on Gardeners World Live 2024. And we have Bob and Imogen over to the right and come to have a look in on us and join our immersive walk. And these are the students taking part this year. As we swing round, you'll see in the bottom there some beautiful lovely slab tiles with the holes, and they're what's used on typically on barns out in Derbyshire up on the moors. And one of our tasks is going to be to create a roof like that on a barn. So it looks quite exciting, and we're looking forward to the walk and picking up ideas and getting all sorts of hooks so that we can design the garden. With Elizabeth Stoppard, and who's going to tell us a little bit of the history about these beautiful field barns that exist in Derbyshire. So thanks, Elizabeth. Over to you.
Hi. So
Mike in the background, by the way.
yeah,
Sorry.
Mike, yeah. I'm Mike.
Yeah, so I was saying that about adaptation and plants and how they've adapted over the centuries in Bonsall. And I think Bonsall was founded something like, well, in the 11th century.
Wow.
Bonsall crossed some of the earliest stones of that age. And so we've gone from, a small little village of farming and, people having a normal medieval life to the Great Fire of London, when they needed lots of lead to re-roof. And this area is absolutely full of lead.
Wow.
So Winster, Bonsall, Wirksworth became this absolute hellish industry, basically. The landscape got devastated. Everything was chopped down, trees for the fuel, and lead got taken out of the ground with fluorspar. Everything was just devastating, I think. And then we had the Industrial Revolution after that in Cromford, and they needed the first sort of like agribusiness really to create food for the masses of workers that were coming into Cromford at the time. So Bonsall produced milk. They used to take it to Cromford every day, and they had to have these little field barns to house the cows. So they had to have hay in the roof, water from the roof collection to feed the cattle, and then the milk production got taken to Cromford. And also the ground was still full of lead, so a farmer would have a dual income of lead mining in the night time and farming in the daytime. And sometimes he'd stay in his barn in the hayloft. So sometimes you get a little fireplace in there, for instance. So what's happened is, over the years, plants like lead-loving orchids have developed out of the old slag heaps of these old lead mines. So it's absolutely fascinating to see little fly orchids and bee orchids, little tiny delicate things, that just are sprouting from something so toxic. And then we've noticed that when we leave set aside sort of like grazing meadows, all the old wildflowers come back, like harebells and oxeye daisies and rose bay willow herbs, and we've got reports here from different groups that come out to study the wildflowers in the summer, and just huge amounts of wildflowers. And one of my favourite stories was, we did this really big field barn, and it had been a grazing meadow for, I don't know, maybe 100 years. And so it had always had heavy traffic, with tractors and things on it. And when we restored the roof, we must have disturbed the ground, because the next spring and nobody has ever seen this before. Giant oxide daisies.
Ah,
just
yeah,
sprung
yeah,
up to
yeah.
say thank you.
Yeah.
And it absolutely brought tears to my eyes, that did.
Wow.
Just loads and loads of wildflowers.
Fantastic.
Um,
Brilliant.
beneath. The lead mines can be like, I don't know, anything from 20 metres to 50.
Wow.
Like deep down.
Gosh, yeah.
Yeah, but they go into tunnels where people used to dig the lead out of the rock.
And is that what's caused the
Yes.
humps on the
So
top? With
these are all spoil heaps. And our field actually is a limestone plateau. It's only got that much soil, and we do have a few. We've got one lead mine, I think. The soil has to be tested every now and again, but we had two metal detectors.
Ah, yeah.
We had two professional metal detector friends who did the whole field, and they found about 3,000 objects ranging from Roman evoked statues.
Oh my goodness me.
Made out of like really ancient lead.
Wow.
To hammered coins from the Elizabethan era, the Jacobean era.
Wow.
3,000 of them we've got stored. I don't know whether to put them back in the field or.
Incredible.
They might go to the Heritage Museum in Wordsworth, but.
So we're now inside a field barn, and you can see here the old cratch there where they put the hay behind for the animals. You've got these big old joists, which is interesting. They've done some go into the walls, okay, but typically maybe some have rotted back and now are kind of linteled off another one. But it's great storage areas in the top of the barn, really. So ideal for storing wood and things like that, and ideal for bringing animals in here to overwinter, or if they're giving birth or whatever. So ideal. Lovely little barn. Looking at a little barn which is really clever because a little bit of rainwater harvesting. You can see it taking all the water around to this side into those troughs so that the animals can be watered. And so, you know, it's sort of doing a great job, bit of recycling, and lovely to see all these sort of ideas that people had, and these lovely old stone troughs, part of that property, part of that barn. And there you can see there would have been guttering on that side as well. And we'll just pop inside and have a look in. So this one, another one, again got the old beams, lime wash. I can remember doing that as a kid. We had to lime wash the walls. It sweetens it and it helps to kill some of the diseases as well, and it helps hold it together a little bit. So there's the old sort of feeding troughs on the inside as well. So here we've got a Splenium scolopendrium, this beautiful sort of spleen-wort, heart's tongue. And then some more geraniums in there. There's a little corydalus at the bottom of there, which is really nice. So that's good. These are sort of things we could include in the garden.
And it's built mainly out of the stone that they found in the garden. So there's lots of fluorspar and tufa. And after they built this one, they decided to do the whole garden like this. So this is the first grotto Andy built.
Oh, really?
Using all the mineral stones from the garden.
Okay.
This is an old Victorian lady's garden here.
Right.
Just popping inside the grotto, and you can see there's one or two beautiful ferns on the inside. Look at the shell work, rock IL. So shell work is a big thing, and then actually putting together all the minerals from the garden and shells that they've collected, and looking at the far end, that really is that sort of Raphael kind of work, which is really interesting, and that's quite time consuming doing that kind of thing.
And then it just disappears, doesn't it?
That's right, yeah. Oh my word, lunchtime here. That is quite something. Hear the bells. So we're here up on Bonsall Moor, and we're looking at where the old lead mining. You can see there's still machinery there, cranes and different things to get the pull the lead up, and it's very hill and dale obviously, because where they've dug out the shafts and put it to one side, you end up with this kind of hill and dale landscape. But again, it's all part of the history, part of the heritage of the lead mining that went on up here in Bonsall. So here we go. This is Mike on the Wurlitzer, live at Bonsall, doing us a little number. Always good. His feet are going like mad to get that going. Excellent. Look at this. Everybody's entranced by this. Sam wants to dance, but probably needs a bit more. Gosh.